Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome once again to the channel, or back to the channel if you've been here before. You've seen us all madness goes on here. It's another set of live stream beer reviews with me, a disco, from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still hypothetically calling the Disco Arms, and yes, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to board the hype train. This is unusual because I don't do the hype train. I've done whole videos about why I don't do the hype train. You won't have seen any Verdant Putty content from me this year, because that is me, epitome of the hype train for me. These kind of beers that everybody supposedly raves about, that are brilliant, from hyper trendy breweries bashing out hop heavy after hop heavy hop slop, usually, in my opinion. Not that I'm against hops particularly, but as regular viewers of this channel will know, I'm really not necessarily in favor of chancing my arm on a pint of grapefruit slop, like being smacked around the face with a grapefruit beanbag while sucking on a grapefruit laden hacky sack. That said, I'm not against these breweries, don't get me wrong. I try anything once, I'll give it a go, and as you know, I often order beers because these things amuse me. So by names or something, kind of things that I put together, like, you know, I'll order beers because they've got green labels or yellow labels, and I can do that on the on this show. I can put a theme together and sometimes adjust random names. Speaking of which, Colin, have you ever tried Quebec beers? I have not. Being in the UK, we don't see too many Canadian beers. I tried one from Victoria once, in fact, a couple from Victoria, because I met a guy from Hoyne Brewing. Hoyne? No, he gave me a Hoyne Brewing can. So yeah, don't see too much Canadian stuff over here. Again, not against it, would give it a go. I'm sure some of the American importers that I don't tend to get around to a lot, which is kind of ties into this kind of hype beer train thing that I'm talking about today, that they're kind of overhyped, overhopped, and often overpriced, or rather than that, I just can't gamble £6 or £7 on a beer that I just probably aren't going to like. But every now and again I do, just because the names. And with that in mind, let's dive straight into a beer number one. And despite having a terrible day today, I think if this works, well, actually, I've got this sorted. So let's go on to beer number one, please. Didn't quite get the timing right there, but anyway, beer number one is from a brewery that I think is one of the most hyped breweries in the UK at the moment. I see everybody going on about them. It is, of course, Beak. I say, of course, Beak, because this is a slightly different can. You can just see the Beak logo down the bottom there. So slightly different can art, but it confused me a little bit. I actually thought it was Weekend Project, and then I realised it wasn't a 500ml can. So it's from Beak, down the south coast, down in Lewis. A big brewing town, and there's a couple of more modern craft and hype breweries down there, of which Beak are possibly the foremost. Let's get the banner on so we know what it is. Yeah, it's called The Lost Folk. It's a 5% pale ale. It's a collab with a couple of people. Let's get it into a glass and have a look at it first. Do let me know if you think Beak Oh, anyway, a hype brewery. Definitely the top end of the craft scene, I think. I imagine them to be just sort of hazy IPA after hazy IPA, but that's not looking very hazy IPA. It's definitely looking very light in the pale ale end of the spectrum. Oh, I think I've over poured. No, there we go. We might be all right. Let's get the photo on first of all. I can't. Nice little bit of artwork, kind of folk. Good bit of traditional English folk scene, I guess. I think that's what we'd call it. No, English village. Probably quite a few of them down around Lewis where Beak are. Oh yeah, dancing around a maypole, aren't they? So there's probably a bit of music going on. It's a very traditional English kind of countryside scene there. So there's a couple of others on the label that is kind of collab with, mainly for the artwork. More about that in just a minute. That's not as focused as I would like, so I'm going to focus it again. Then we can discuss it. So that works. That's all right. Down of the can balance, so we managed to remember that one. So we're on to a winner already. Yeah, so in the glass, a little bit of fizz to it, good head development. Looks like it might stick around. Looks very lemony, kind of lemony yellow in colour. Superb. Which is kind of better for me because, like I say, I just imagine needs to be a fair amount of grapefruit, and this doesn't look like that so far. So, yeah, do let me know what you think about Beak. Let's do the review anyway. Ooh, there's a very big brewery smell coming off that already. Kind of hop noted, but not too bad. Yeah, some nice pale ale malt notes going on with a little bit of kind of lemony citrus. Not massively hop heavy on the aroma, not massively hop offensive to my palate, my olfactory palate anyway. Let's dive in. So yeah, Beak Brewery in combination with Faber and Lally Macbeth. It's called Lost Folk, 5% pale ale. Cheers. Enjoy the beers and happy damn Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this is necessarily representative of what I assume Beak beers to be, but it's definitely very representative of that kind of hop stuff that just makes me go, yeah. There's no wow moment there. There's nothing amazing. It tastes like any other of that kind of pale ale kind of genre, of which there are hundreds about. A perfectly decent beer, don't get me wrong, and obviously I'm guilty here of kind of they say you should drink fresh, especially the hot beers, and I never do, apart from the ones I did yesterday, of course. I very rarely do because I have them sit there and I must get around to that, especially when I'm putting them together in this kind of context, this kind of theme. I was actually going to do a standalone video on this one, and I've never got around to it. I got it at some point in the back end of last year. Let's just check that. Best before sea base. Okay, it's not too bad. It says canned on the 1st of September 25, best before 28th of Feb 26. So at the weekend. So they've basically put 4 months on it, which is fair enough for a pale ale, a hoppy pale ale. but it will last and be perfectly fine for several months after that. There's no like hop damage or like any particular creeping off flavors in there just because it's 4 days past the nominal date. But it is very hop noted. It's not the worst hop. I don't know what they are. I've not looked. There's a lot of information on this can to read through. It feels like there's something like probably strata. I don't think there's any citra in it because we're going much more lemon than grapefruit. And yeah, I don't think there's any lemon hops in it. Yeah, it feels like a bit of straw or something like that. You'll have to believe me that I've not actually read any of this on the can. And I don't know whether they do put hop information on because I don't think I've ever seen a Beak can up close and personal. I don't think I've ever bought one. I think I did do a Beak beer, but I think it was a collab, and it was either a collab with Flock, and Flock were another hype brewery from the South Coast that I don't really get onto. Although I got an order out of them because they had a disco beer, and it was eminently not forgettable, but I don't remember it, so it wasn't that great. And the other Flock beers were big, juicy, hazy boys, which were quite nice, but again, not sort of gambling on them unless I really need to, like if they've got a disco beer, Beak being out a beer just called Disco, because they don't tend to mess about with names. This is one of the longest Beak names, which is why I confused myself thinking it wasn't a Beak beer. It's got oats. Yeah, it doesn't say. Well, they've got a lot of information on this can and not to put the hop information unless I'm missing it. Let's read this anyway. This is what this particular beer is about. As part of an ongoing project with Faber and Faber, Beak is using its labels to exhibit the work of some of the UK's most urgent writers. It's another name for hype, isn't it? This beer is guest edited by the artist, writer, and curator Lally Macbeth and features an extract from her book, The Lost Folk. Now, I know the name Lally Macbeth in beer circles, but I don't know anything about Lally Macbeth particularly. There's a little bit down the bottom that says peel, so let's see what's underneath. I don't normally do this, but maybe there's some more info. Or maybe there isn't. Oh, hang on. That's not good. Oh, I see. Wow. Wow. It's one of those cans where there's a lot of information on it. So it's like a double label thing. It's going to be interesting if I ever get round to that label project. Wow, that's a lot of information about. I guess it's from Lally Macbeth. Well, unless anybody specifically wants me to, I might not read all of that because that's not going to work, is it? That's a lot of information on that can. I won't point you towards Lally Macbeth's website where I think it must all be on there. Mr. Wilson, good evening to you. Thanks for popping in. For a little Tuesday tipple, let me know if you've got a beer on. Are you on the Weatherspoons already? Look at me drinking Beak. Won't see that too often. Me doing the hype train beers, except this is 4 months since it was canned, so I've kind of run out of the hype. The hype train is a little bit late on this one. Doesn't look like a Beak beer. Not sure it massively tastes like one. Yeah, I'm disappointed about that lack of hop information as always. I like to know what I'm drinking. Where did I find it? Let's have a look. See if here we go. Oh no, it was on. No, that was all the same information. Beak Brewery, The Lost Folk. Oh wow! I wasn't expecting that. It's on Beer 52. I didn't get this from Beer 52. That's funny because on Beer 52 it says it expires on the 16th of February 2026. Oh no, it's out of stock. Yeah, it doesn't say on there either. I'll show it to you. Beak Brewery, The Lost Folk. Oh, I had a competition on Instagram and I missed it. I don't know if I follow Beak on Instagram. Probably because I don't have many of their beers. Hang on. Their can's got a photo on them. Mine ain't got a photo. Oh no, there it is. Oh, well, there we go. That would be Lally Macbeth. Oh, I see. That's underneath. That's why. Oh, lovely. Yeah, there we go. Oh, here we go. Somebody. Oh no. Want to win a pack? Guess the 3 hops we used in this beer. Right. Well, is that why they haven't put it on the can? And then they haven't gone and told anyone. There's a lot of Cascade, Citra, and Mosaic guesses. I did say no Citra, but yeah, I said Simcoe. Well, I'll find out that another time. Like a Northern Monk Patron beer with that. Yeah. Do they have Peel cans as well? I've only ever seen like the artwork on theirs, but yeah, fair enough. In spoons. Okay, yeah. On the Hogsback and Mondo beer called Juliet. Oh, to go with a Romeo. Cool, fair play. Yeah, I try to squeeze these slightly hype beers in, hype breweries. I don't know, therefore, what hops this is, but I can see a bit of Mosaic in there. Maybe I said, what did I say? Could be like Centennial or something like that. It's a slight piney dankness on the back end now. Really nice sweet, slight sherbet lemon kind of sweetness, but no sparkle to it. Yeah, a little bit of kind of earthiness going on in the background. It's one I'm going to be forced, despite the fact that it's got a lemon kind of note to it. I'm going to put lemonade in it to finish it. Probably. Well, I want to finish it before the last one, really. Yeah, it's just not my thing at all. It's got that kind of slight pininess going on. It gets deeper and deeper into that kind of typical hoppy beer. No different from most of the other hoppy beers, particularly. And I'm like, I'm not disappointed, but I can't enthusiastically talk about it. I will say I don't think it's necessarily emblematic of Beak, particularly. It's just not my kind of beer. Oh. Yeah, no. Let's see what a bit of lemonade does. See, I tried to be confident. I didn't even bother to get the lemonade out because I thought, no, that'll be all right. They'll be okay. But yeah, that back end pininess, that kind of, there isn't grapefruit, but it's kind of slightly pithy note, that slight dankness. So I'm going to give it a wee top just to get that lemon note back. Let's see where we go from there. That's not a lot better, but yeah, kind of drags that lemonade note off of that earthiness, that pininess, that pithiness. Like I say, I'm not saying there's a bit more sherbet lemon sparkle there now. jazzed it up a bit. But again, I don't think that's, and it's nothing to do with the fact that I've left it 4 months. That's my bad, not the breweries anyway. But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'm not overly fussed on that. I've got to be honest. If I got it from Trembling Madness, I've only spent a £5 on it, so I'm not. I forgot to put the double dry opt in. You can tell that double dry opness with that kind of, that kind of pininess. Like I say, I don't think it's massively indicative of Beak because they've got a lot of other stuff on there, but it's all mostly £5 and £6 IPAs, double dry opt pales, and I expect they'll all be much the same. Can't remember what the last Beak bill I had actually. Saw a website, but I didn't look at it. Lally Macbeth. Don't know who I'm getting confused with, but I thought it was something to do with brewing as well. But maybe not. Maybe she works quite a lot with Verdant. Anyway, the reason I've got this beer was not actually because of that particularly. It was purely could try some Bucky in it. Yeah, that would work. That would get it away. I'm not going to do Bucky on this stream. I've got enough big enough beers to do. The reason. Yeah, the reason I got this beer was again a kind of artistic choice. Nothing whatsoever to do with Beak or Lally Macbeth or Faber particularly, but it was the words from this song from an artist that I'm very much into. Whilst obviously the scene on the can is kind of the countryside folk, and therefore that kind of folk music dancing around the maypole, etc. An artist, a musical artist that I like, it's called Gaz Brookfield. He has a song called Lost Folk, which is kind of about the more modern style of folk music rather than that kind of around the village green. I don't know if I'm allowed to play his music, so I may or may not at the end of this, but this is the words of the song that caused me to buy this beer. Foolishly, I thought I knew my place. That certainty has left without a trace. Set adrift, no compass to be found, directionless and about to run aground. Lost among the mirrors and the smoke, lost in the punchline of a badly written joke. We can't fix it if we don't know how it broke. We're just lost folk. We're just lost folk. Never right, but also not all that far left. Not submerged, but it's still hard to catch my breath. Not middle-aged or old, but definitely not young. Up to speed, but still don't know what's going on. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who feels this way, forever in the dark, yet blinded by the day. So if you're as lost as me, then gather round, because although we may be lost, but together there's a chance that we'll be found. Now, oddly, that's kind of what's the word, prophetic for today, because I spent all afternoon messing around with the editing program because I lost all my footage off the editor by transferring some files off and then not being able to transfer the ones I needed back on again to try and save some space. So hence, if you saw the start of the show, I've got a new intro, which is about time anyway, to be fair, because I couldn't get the old one that I normally just chop up and put the new pictures in. I actually had to do the whole thing. I don't think I got around time to do the end one, but if I find the right end one, it shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I can get my head around the technology. So whilst I don't feel exactly old, even though I'm getting old this year, definitely not young, and definitely don't know what's going on. And no, Gaz, you're not the only one who feels that way, because yeah, that's kind of how I feel today. But there we go. Yeah, I've never really worked out copyright strikes. We've always tried to kind of veer away from them, really, and just not do any music. But I think I can just play it and then cut it out later and apologize. I think that's how it works. It's only a couple of minutes.
Foolishly, I thought I knew my place. That certainty is left without a trace.
Just for critical review, obviously.
Set adrift, no compass to be found. Directionless and about to run aground. Lost among the mirrors and the smoke. Lost in the punchline of a badly written joke. We can't fix it if we don't know how it broke. We're just lost folk. We're just lost folk. Never right, but also not all that far left. Not submerged, but it's still hard to catch my breath. Not middle-aged or old, but definitely not young. Up to speed, but still don't know what's going on. Lost among the mirrors and the smoke. Lost in the punchline of a badly written joke. We can't fix it if we don't know how it broke. We're just lost folk. We're just lost folk. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. Forever in the dark, yet blinded by the day. So if you're as lost as me, then gather round. 'Cause alone we may be lost, but together there's a chance that we'll be found. Lost among the mirrors and the smoke. Lost in the punchline of a badly written joke. We can't fix it if we don't know how it broke. We're just lost folk. Yeah, we're lost among the mirrors and the smoke. Lost in the punchline of a badly written joke. We can't fix it if we don't know how it broke. We're just lost folk. Yeah, we're lost folk. We're just lost folk. Yeah, we're lost folk.
Yeah, well, there we go. That was Gaz Brookfield in his song Lost Folk, off of his 8th studio album of the same name, Lost Folk. He's based in Bristol, but tours up and down the country, playing gigs from anywhere from like 20 or 30 people to several thousand, especially if he's opening for other bands such as the Levelers or Frank Turner he's done. It's a little bit of way of promoting it, really. If he wants to give me a copyright strike, I'll have a word over on Facebook. Hopefully he won't, because I just want to promote his music, because he's does all his own records, does all his own music, puts out CDs and t-shirts off his own website, isn't signed to a major label, probably never will be, and possibly never wants to be, because it's basically about independent music. And yeah, as Mr. Wilson says, they're kind of interesting mix. Again, that's not necessarily indicative of all of his songs, but it's that kind of solo acoustic guy is another song he has, and it basically about how just tour around with a guitar, really. Obviously, that was an album track, so it has more kind of bigger band behind it. But yeah, a little bit of folk, definitely a little bit of punk and ska kind of in there. But yeah, folk rock, maybe not quite. He does have a band. Sometimes this whole band shows. Generally, it's just him traveling around the country. And up to about 2020, he was doing like 250, 300 shows a year. He'd be doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, touring around the country playing. He's currently touring around the country on a tour called Almost All Village Halls, where he's only playing village halls that are like, 50 to 100 people. And if I ever get the chance, I will book him on the stage at the brewery. And if you didn't hear that song, that's because I've been forced to cut it out and got a copyright strike, but hopefully I won't. But yeah, I really love the music, and it's drinking music as well. I don't know if that has a separate genre, but yeah, it's a lot of songs about drinking, cider mostly, because he's fed the West Country. In fact, he's about all over the place. But it's helped me drink that beer because I'm sitting there listening to it and not having to talk, and I'm knocking the beer back. The lemonade has helped. I'm not gonna let it cut off my opinion of Beak. My opinion of Beak is pretty much the same. A hype brewery with lots of kind of hoppy IPAs that I'm not generally gonna gamble me fiver on and get everything they have. Because there's dozens, if not hundreds, of breweries across the country, much the same. I think when I say the word hype breweries, the hype train, they've been featured on plenty of beer reviewers, Craft Beer Channel particularly will feature them and say, yeah, this is the best new brewery they've been going. Is it 6 years? No, 5 years I think they've been going. So they've kind of hit some heights, and they've obviously done something good, and people like them and stuff like that. Greetings. I didn't know they were playing. I forgot about football tonight. Contemplating opening a pale ale from Rivington. Rivington, another one of those that is sort of up there with the greats that I just tend not to bother with. The few Rivington beers I haven't been that keen on. But yeah, look at me drinking a Beak Brewery beer. The first one, I think, from Beak, because I can't remember, the one I had last year, I think, was brewed at Flock in collab with Beak. But yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. If you didn't see me add the lemonade, then I didn't add lemonade to it. I did not share. Well, it's more a top than a lemonade, but I thought it was necessary because despite a nice lemon touch up front, there was just a bit too much pininess and grapefruit. On the background for me, it was muted. It was, like I say, background, but it was just a growing earthiness. So I had to throw on a bit of music, a bit of a drinking song called Lost Folk to help me get through it. But now I have. So yeah, that's Beak. Cheers. Now, I can't guarantee that the next beer won't have the same result. So I'll keep that lemonade handy. It is a bigger beer, but seeing as I've redone these, I'm going to play them. I think I got it right. Let me know if you see this and this is wrong. But on to beer number 2, please. There it is. Yes, it's all right. Beer number 2 is, again, not my first ever beer from this brewery. Let's change the banner. It is from Track Brewing, massive hype brewery up in Manchester. It is a collab. I did put it on there tonight. A collab with The Seed, which are an American brewery, although it's a rebrew of something, I think. So I don't know if anybody from America actually came or they just put their name on it. It's called Dawn, quite simply. And it's an 8% double IPA. Only the second ever Track beer. I did think about looking at some of the gold top stuff, but again, it just seems to be a rotation of Citra, Azaka, Simcoe, and whatever the New World hops are. They'll be messing about with Rawaka or whatever, which I don't mind so much. It's fair, but Yeah, the only reason I got this is because it was a friend's birthday back end of last year, and she's called Dawn up the brewery. So I thought, well, it was on there. Can't remember where I got this one from. I think it was probably also Trembling Madness, although it might have been Left Field. But I would have picked it up sometime in November, September, November. So again, it's going to be on that back end of that best before date, probably. It's a double IPA, so it might get away with a little bit longer, but just going. I haven't posted that much on Instagram this year, but enough that it's going to take me ages to find this beer. As to where I got it from, it doesn't matter. It's probably not currently available anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to rush out and buy it. But that's kind of the point I was sort of trying to make. Both these breweries kind of put out beer after beer after beer in the kind of pale ale, double IPA, double dried hopped or whatever. And yeah, you never see them again, except the fact you do see them again. And the next brew is just called something else, with a slightly different hop lineup, in my opinion. Controversial, I know. This was a digital collab. What the fuck is that? So basically, they said, "Yeah, go on, do it again. Put our name on it, and we'll all be good." How does that work? Why does that work? What's the need? Can't be a contractual thing. Anyway, let's get this into a glass. It's an 8% DIPA, so I'm expecting lots more big stuff going on. Ooh, there's quite a little pop on that can. Oh. 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 I definitely prefer hazy IPAs and hazy doubles. Yeah, there's a little bit of sitting sediment in there. So it gets hazy as it goes into the glass, but it did look awfully thin to start with. And as Mr. Wilson reminds me, I mean, I like the can art from the track. Rough kind of canage is not really my thing, but I like the label bit. They put it on silver background, so it looks like it's just that bit of the label, but it's not. It's a whole label. But there we go. Let's do the photo and the can balance anyway. That's quite low, that balance. And this one will probably be quite hard to photo, being silver. And my other complaint is the fact that the writing is silver, so I can't bleed and see the name anyway. And it's going to be very hard to pick this out on the photo, but let's do it anyway. Full of grumbles today, aren't I? Full of grumbles. Right. Nice head development though there. Looks quite kind of frothy and bubbly. But yeah, that silver writing, I can just about see it says seed, but I can't see that it says dawn. See that that's his Techno 6 up the back there, signing out. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. Oh, if breweries don't put their artwork that's visible, it's like they don't want people to actually photograph it. Yes, I'm bored of trying now, track. Sorry. Make it black or something so people can see what it's about, especially as you actually have all the hop information on there, but it's so hard to read. Grumble, grumble. All right, so it looks a bit better now. It looks a bit more that kind of double dry hopped haziness going on. So yeah, a digital cola. I did it over video call. Original cola is a different beer with a different name. I mean, there's not a lot of work involved in a digital collab for the people over the other side of it, is there? I'm moan again. Hey, some good news. Salah, I thought Salah went. I didn't have to say how much I know about Premiership football. Mo Salah's still Liverpool, or is that a different Salah? No idea, mate. Sorry, I should know more about that. I am a little bit, like I say, it's been a terrible day today with all that blinking editor stuff, losing all the B-roll, and there was 4 videos still to edit. I can get them back. It just takes a bit more editing, but yeah, it's taken me 18 months on one of them as it is. So yeah, I'm full on grumpy. So it's possibly best that I do these hype beers today to get them out of the way, because I'm going to moan at them at some point or another. But yeah, I do think when you've spent all that money on an 8% dip, I want to be able to read the artwork. Sorry, track. It looks lovely on the face of it, but it's difficult to read, let alone photograph. Oh yeah, no, it does say that down there. I see it now. I've got the light right. It does say down the bottom, digital collaboration. At least the writing on the back is in a bold block colour, so I'll be able to read that in a minute. Let's see what the beer is. Oh, Mo Salah didn't leave. Oh, okay. I thought they got millions for him. Right, there you go. Fair play. Right, let's do the review anyway. Quick sniff as the nose is playing up. The nose is playing ball today. I'll play up in a bit. Yeah, same thing. Just some hoppy kind of brewery nose notes. Hoppiness. You can kind of smell the pale malt a bit, but fortunately no massive grapefruit notes, but let's get it down and see if I need the lemonade. Sooner we get it done, the better, really. No, well, to be fair, I have read the hops on this one, and I do know what I'm going into with this one. So, yeah, this one's not going to be a surprise. Sometimes that works, but, yeah, not going to spoil it for everyone else. Let's have a go. Cheers. Oh. Yeah, thanks, Trek. So it's just like, it's much like the first one, but stronger. There's a big vodka grapefruit juice note going on, which I'm not against. Yeah, so I did know, to be fair, what this was, because I did see the word Citra on several occasions on the write-up. So yeah, Citra Dino Boost. Don't need more Citra. It's enough as it is. Don't need to boost it. Ruaka and Motueka Cryo. See, Ruaka and Motueka, I'm on the face of it fine with, apart from that goes a bit grapefruity sometimes. I'm still not sure about Ruaka. It hits. It definitely hits. It's one of those beers where if I don't like it, you lot probably will. Yeah. It's all right. There's a little bit more orange juice note to it around the back as well. There's not out and out grapefruit, not out and out earthiness, dankness, pineness. It's kind of muted, so that's fair enough. I don't really know. See, the Citra Dino Boost, I know about it. It's, I think, liquid form of hops, isn't it? That's kind of meant to be more and more intense, so you're having to put so much hop leaf in or hop pellet in. And I'm like, yeah. See, my boss did a beer. There's a rotating lineup on a beer called Very Hazy, and he rotates the hop lineup. And one year he did, I think last year he did all Citra version, and that was actually the best Citra beer I drank that year. But he did do Citra and Motueka as well. And that came up with those kind of tropical fruity notes rather than the grapefruit. The Citra beer he did was one of the best versions of that beer I ever drunk, because it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just so well balanced and kind of lots of flavour. A bit of orange juice in amongst the grapefruit, and it wasn't that piffy, earthy grapefruit. Whatever he done with the Citra hops, I don't know, but this is sort of, yeah, a bit mid. Nice kind of sticky sweetness on it. I think the Ruaka and the Motueka in there helping to give it that slightly more tropical juice note going on. Maybe I'm just in the wrong mood for it. Maybe I'm just a bit grumpy. I was looking forward to it. I thought, yeah, great. Again, I was going to do a standalone video on this before Christmas. Never got round to it. Just because it was like my first, I would say it's my first proper track beer. It's not my first track beer. Anybody? I don't think I didn't video the first track beer. No, I did. It's on here somewhere. It'll be on a link somewhere. And it was around about this time last year. It was last January. And again, it was one that I bought right at the end of the best before and sat in my stash for a few months. And I did it on the Australia Day stream last year, January 2025, when I had some other vaguely Australian beers in. And it was that Track Mountain Culture collab that me and Sammy were talking about. It's like if you go to the trouble of going halfway around the world just to brew a sparkling Australian beer at like, it's like 3% or something, I think. And it was like, again, it was all right. It was just like slightly disappointing as to what you could have done. Yeah, Dynaboost, a liquid hop extract. Yeah, as opposed to some of the other hop extract additives. See, that's not an additive, is it? It's not an adjunct, even though it's not actually hops as such. Yeah, it's still part of the four main ingredients of beer. It's a little bit of something else in there. It feels like a bit. There's obviously plenty of oats in there, and it feels like it's come up a little bit of like vanilla cream, a bit like that one yesterday, the Polly's one yesterday, which was nice and oaty creamy, but a bit too sort of citrus hoppy. I think it'll settle. I want to get through it because I don't really want to go back to it afterwards. I haven't got any music for this one. What they say anyway here is, oh, there was some dankness on the, yeah, there was some drying, cloying dankness there on that sip. For this year's WTTN, it's WTTN, no idea. We've teamed up with amazing breweries from the east coast of America to brew some fresh beers we think you'll love. You don't know me that well, Trek. No, that's it. Nothing else. Lots of different ingredients in different languages. Brewed, canned, and poured at Track Brewing in Manchester. A luscious, hazy, highly hopped double IPA DIPA. There we go. Yeah, just sort of. Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. It's like if I was in a bit of a session, this one would like, you know what I mean? If I'm in a round, I'm missing out the next round because I'm going slowly on it. And it's like, it's not even hazy enough. It's not oaty enough. It's not smooth enough for my liking. I'm not saying it's a bad beer. Don't worry. I mean, it looks like a pretty good beer. There's a bit of lacing going on there. But if I'm being critical, and I'm bound to be with this kind of beer, yeah, not hazy enough, not smooth enough. There's no. If I'm gonna go this big 8% DIPA haziness, I want kind of orange juice. I want oat creaminess. And yeah, that dankness, that grapefruit, that citra grapefruit dankness is coming through at the end. Dynaboost just amplifying more grapefruit. It's just like I say, it's like sucking on a grapefruit hacky sack whilst being smacked around the face with a grapefruit beanbag. You got some Rivington, Idaho 7 and Peacherine. Oh, the Egger Special. I wanted to pick some of those up because they looked interesting, even though they're new hops and stuff like that. But because they're new hops, I wanted to get in. Liverpool now down to 2-1 with 3 to go. Bugger. Yeah, Peacherine is one that's been around for a while. I've still not really looked at specifically. Cohere, Nelson Cohere. I had a beer with Nelson Cohere in it the other week and I didn't know what it was. The hop, I mean, but interesting, very interesting. Do bear with me a second. Yeah. So, um, yeah, I wish I'd got some music for this one. I'm not going to play any PM Dawn because that will definitely get me a copyright strike. And I don't know any other songs with the word dawn in, really. And I'm not even going to do the dawn joke. You know what it is. Um, yeah, I can see why these beers are kind of. I mean, are these two particular beers a hype beer? I would say the brewery is definitely a hype breweries, or I don't even like using that term really because it kind of degenerates the brewery a little bit. They're doing good things in a very difficult market, and they're producing stuff that people want to drink. It's just because I don't want to drink it doesn't. Again, I'm very pressed to explain that I don't think it's a bad beer. I'm pressed to explain that for some reason my palate doesn't like grapefruit, so it's not a beer that sits well for me. And I find it's one of those grapefruit beers that, although isn't out and out massively grapefruit, I find it a bit of a struggle because it's just a bit too much. Like I say, there are some grapefruit beers that I find perfectly pleasant and drinkable and can smash down. Yeah, your Disco Kings, your Dry Pours, etc. I don't know why I can tolerate those ones and not something like this. Again, I think on a slightly coldish early spring day in March that it probably doesn't hit quite the same as it does at the back end of the summer when probably this one first came out. But that's my bad. That's again nothing against the brewery, and I've got nothing against Track. I just, I'm not going to look on the website. I don't think there's no point because I'll just be going through endless hoppy, hazy boys going, oh, yeah, great, which is kind of always been my point of these kind of craft beers. Well, I don't like to use the term craft beer that much because it's all about, at the beginning of craft beer, it was all about that hazy, hoppy, not hazy necessarily, but a hoppy American kind of style, overhopped, overpriced beers. Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, it was definitely, Trembling Madness. August, I got this beer, August 25. Yeah, I just got this in overnight because I wanted the dawn. I gave one away and a few other bits, but I've still got one from there. But oh, I think that was a stout. Oh, I got another 8% dipper there from Bayonet on that one. Better get onto that soon and see what they do with hop heavy nonsense. To be fair, but yeah. I wonder what I paid for this one. Okay. Well, it's down at Rainville 8.25. Sold out, obviously, but yeah, so it's probably going to be around about £8 at Trembling Madness. Like I say, I only got it from a friend for her birthday. I thought, well, I may as well get one and do it. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm kind of right in that. Yeah, this is going to potentially piss off a few people if they ever watch. Well, don't watch my stuff; it'll be fine. Don't tell Rob, it'll be right. But I'm going to do this because I want to get the grapefruit away. So I'm sorry, Track. This might not be Track's best beer. It's not Gold Top or anything like that. But yeah, I just want to get that grapefruit away and get it back to lemon, so I might actually drink it. I want to finish this one before I go on to the next one, even though I've been yabbing on for nearly an hour, because I don't really want to go back to this after a stout. But I also don't really want to waste it, and I don't really want to smash it down. The lemonade there pulls out that smoothness. Funny, it feels like a cream soda almost there now. Amplifies a bit more the lemon, so it's more like vodka lemonade than it is vodka grapefruit juice. Yeah, no, I think I think you're right, Mr. Wilson. I'm just a full-on grump today. I don't feel grumpy. I just sort of had some minor, like, first world adversity to challenge myself today and got through it, really. I've done most of the other things I was meant to do, but on my day off, I don't want to be challenging about computer problems any more than I want to be drinking grapefruit hazies. But yeah, the lemonade makes it more palatable. Oh, I got the first one down anyway. Yeah, much more sherbet lemon there now, which is yeah, much more my thing. Like I say, a decent looking beer. It's gone very pale there now, but plenty of lacing on the glass. Only a little bit of alcohol legs for that 8%, but I see. If I was outside in the summer, that would probably be all right. I'd still need a bit of a top on it. Nobody does lemonade tops on craft beer. I remember back in the day, being out a lager top just to make it more palatable. But nobody seems to do that for craft beer when it just isn't the thing, and you don't want to waste it at £8 a pint. I'm not afraid to do that. I don't care. I don't jump on the hype train. This is very uncool and untrendy to be putting lemonade in a craft beer, but it just works. I'm not doing Bucky as Mr. Wilson suggested earlier. Although that would also work. Oh, come on in. Let's go. Let's go full on grumpy old man, shall we? Let's have a little look. Track Brewery. So yes, for those that don't or haven't seen Track Brewing before, who aren't sort of in that craft beer space necessarily, if you're watching along, do let us know in the comments what you're drinking, by the way. I don't know what Mersey Beers and Mr. Wilson is, but even if you're watching after the event, let us know what you're drinking whilst you watch this, even if you're watching it on speed run, which is how I watch a lot of stuff now, because just fast forward all the waffle. It's fine. I don't mind. I'm not fussed. I'm just here to drink the beers and see what I get. So this is Trek website. Now I expect at least 3 pages of beer from them because they pump out a fair amount. Let's have a look at the beers first of all. Yep, still never done Sonoma. I thought Sonoma would be the first Track beer I'd go to because that's their kind of base thing, but it's only 3.8%. It's a pale ale, but yeah, I should do really. No, I don't want to sign up. Thanks. I'm giving you enough promotion as it is. Yeah. There you go, look. Impasse, Citra, Citra Dynamo, Citra Liquid Lupulin, which is another kind of mentalness altogether. Peacherine and Nectaron, 8%. So it's basically this beer, but just with a slightly different hop lineup. Chime in, Motueka, Cascade, and Strata. Arch Anchovy. I was looking at a beer. I was looking at a beer the other day with anchovy. It sounds a weird name for a hop. But I think I want to try it just because it's got a weird name. I don't think it tastes of fish. Full double dry hop edition of anchovy hops. Watermelon and ripe honeydew are greeted on your palate by fresh raspberries and a gentle hit of vanilla, lemon, and coconut. Then they go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like a tiny extra touch of piney bitterness provides balance and boosts drinkability. No, it does not. Not on this palate. You add me up to watermelon, honeydew, raspberries, vanilla, lemon, and coconut. That sounded amazing. Piney bitterness. No thanks. I mean, I will still try it. Do you know what I mean? You know. So that was a very good beer. Okay. I mean, like I say, this is why I say like Track being one of the maybe foremost hype breweries because Sonoma's about the place, and trying Sonoma on cask would be interesting, I guess. It's not that I disagree. I just I've always been Like it's like the same with Verdant. Like I tried Light Bulb and I'm like, it's all right. And therefore I was never going to go to Putty. And I tried Putty and yeah, it's all right. Half Dome is a cracking core range. Let's have a look at that. Oh, is it gone? No. There we go. Which one's Half Dome? Is Half Dome on there? See, this is what I always used to say, like about Clara. Great track, I've got another beer out, another pale ale with Mosaic and Galaxy. Oh, Citra Galaxy Simcoe Mosaic. Yay. See, there's another one there with Anchovy. Does that say the same? How much different is it? Anchovy is an experimental variety bred by Segal Ranch, a third-generation family hop farm in Yakima, Washington. So Yakima hops. Named a matter of fast fashion who sponsored the initial acreage. That's a word I don't know. Be confident in the knowledge that it tastes absolutely nothing like fish. Fine. We're getting watermelon sweets, lemon zest, candy sticks, some subtle coconut, and a sprinkle of spruce in the finish. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing that annoyed me. Hop infused sparkling water. No thanks. No thanks. I don't like sparkling water as it is, but if you're going to add Citra to the mix, no thank you very much. Love the packaging though. Great can art, great label. It's kind of why I didn't want to do this. Fuggle's best bitter. Hey. See, an export brown ale, but they're still hopping it, Strata and Centennial. Three pages of this stuff. Look, another one with anchovy. There we go, Half Dome. I did briefly look at getting that one, I think, because I liked a slightly different can art. A pale ale based on Pilsner malt. Okay, no, that works. Balancing drinkability with exuberant hop character, Galaxy Citra and Simcoe. In a track, when a track, when you get a track Imperial Stout. I've never done an Imperial Stout. Split screen, Citra Dynaboost, Citra Liquid Lupulin, Nectron Crime, Mochuake and Peterine. It's this beer with just the same in it. Yeah. Sorry, Track. I don't mean to slag Track off. What's that? Oh, barley wine. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because I'm just going to keep going on about it, aren't I? Hey, Jamie. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Welcome to the Disco is a Grumpy Old Man show. So, yeah, I'm just moaning about hop heavy pale ales from typical hype breweries. I call it anchovy if it's not fishy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you never know with some hop names. Well, yeah, we did that prawn IPA, didn't we? We put actual prawn shells in it, so it came up a little bit fishy. Some people said, but yeah, Up 4. Never see Up 4 twice in the same day. Fair play to you, sir. Work away, son. Bear with me a second. Yeah, cheers, Damien. How you doing? All right? Having a good week? Working hard. I'm working tomorrow, don't worry. I'm not getting up at half 4 though. So I've got to be careful. I want to smash this back, but it's 8%, so I don't want to get too thinking I've got to work out I'm getting into work tomorrow. I just got up there. I feel I collapsed my leg underneath like to make it more comfortable, but then it kind of stiffened up. My knee is still not right. Still not right. So I hobbled off for a piss just to get some movement back in it. As I said yesterday, it's mostly why I've kind of been off the pace a bit the last month. I haven't seen a lot from me. I have a feeling the last beer is not going to be a struggle as much as these. And I don't mind trying double IPAs. It's just when it's a bit of a struggle like that. It's only 5.5% working from home tomorrow. Yeah, I've been working from home today. And I'm also whilst I think about it, big happy birthday to my man James, who we were talking about yesterday over at Black Cloak and Conway. So yeah, cheers, James. If he ever watches this, I doubt it. He's working tonight. Cheers, James. Happy birthday, son. I sent him a photograph of yesterday's beers because I was lazy and didn't want to wait until now. And it was a Welsh beer, so he's in Wales. There we go. Never got me written reviews out today because I was spending too much time faffing around with the editor thing and trying to get me content back. So I never got around to putting the things up. So I'll probably do that. I don't know, Thursday next week. Good stream yesterday. I thought it was lots of chats, like back from unintentional hiatus yesterday. Thanks to these guys for popping in and chatting and stuff. I kind of enjoyed the beers, but I didn't enjoy them as much as I hoped I would. It was a nice little session, perfectly well parked, but the beers were, I don't know. So I found it a bit difficult to think about what I was going to write in the write-ups today, which is probably why I kind of ignored them because I had other stuff to do. So that's going to be a difficult write-up next week, as are these two, which is a shame, really. I should have done that Lost Folk one earlier because then I could have put it on Gaz's Facebook and told everybody else about it, and they could have got the beers as fans of that song. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't think I'll be rushing to get anything else from track. Looking at that, not because they're not good beers, they are great beers, and they're doing great stuff by pushing those kind of hop boundaries, looking at new hops all the time, rotating that hop lineup, different hop additions and stuff, and testing out the Dyna Boost and the lupulins and stuff like that. Just it's almost too much for me. I'm hoping so because, to be fair, when I bought it, I thought it was a stout, and I always say it's kind of fairly difficult to mess up stouts. Possibly harder not to do a great porter. Or easier to do not a great porter. So I'm not sure. It's 500ml can as well, isn't it? But porters and stouts are on much safer ground unless they've overhopped it. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. So I want to finish this one rather than go back to it after a stout. But we're over an hour already, so it's going to be a struggle. I'm just going to have to be a big brave boy and bosh it back. It's got lemonade in it, so yeah. Sorry, Chuck. I had to shandy your beers so that I can drink them. Well, just this one anyway. What I forgot to do was check my mate Dawn and see how she found it. I don't think she's massively fussed on hop heavy beers, but she drinks ours at Paravel, so it must be all right. I don't think you can overhop beer. You can very easily overhop beer, depending on the palate. Yeah, like I always say, I'm not not slagging the breweries off. Like, yeah, but I think you can overhop a beer. Basically, one hop pellet of Citra is overhopping a beer, in my opinion. It's like, I don't need the rest of the bag. Just one will do. That'll be it. That's don't overhop the Citra. Yeah. If anybody is not sure, Citra is my hop nemesis. But again, I have had some good beers with Citra in them. So yeah, this one is not one of them. It's all right. Your hoppier fans will be fine with it. I'm getting some almondy marzipan kind of notes now. I don't know why that is. That's weird. Maybe that's that kind of oaty kind of smoothness going on. Yeah, I'm trying to chug it because I want to get through it. It's difficult. But anyway, thanks for being here to witness my first proper track beer. First proper Beak beer for that matter. But yeah, this is why I just don't join the hype train. I'm 4 months late to the hype train with both of these beers. A bit of pepperiness there now. That's weird also. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do my best to get it down. But yeah, that was my first proper track beer. It's not my first track beer, but my second ever track beer. An 8% double IPA with lots of Citra in it. So it's never going to be my favourite, but let's be a big brave boy and get this down. Cheers, and thanks for your patience watching along. Yeah, of course. If you're watching this after the event, more than welcome to put in the comments down below there why I'm a fucking idiot for not really liking track, not really liking Citra, not really ever buying Beak on a regular basis because there's so many other beers to drink. And I've got so many in the stash. If I basically did 3 beers a night like this in this kind of style, if I could get them all together in a thing, it would take me most of the month to get through them, if not all of the month. I'm not going to do that. Mostly because being at work tomorrow, I won't have time to get it sorted and put up. But I think I'm brewing on Thursday, so I won't get a chance on Thursday, plus playing darts. So I was hoping to do stuff a bit more often than regular, but it's just like Monday and Tuesday, I think. This is a very good point. A very good point. The reason, to be fair, is I said this at the start, I think. I buy beers with Citra in them to test myself, because I know I'm not going to like Citra, but every now and again, like I say, there's beers that have that grapefruit note, or even beers with Citra in. Like I say, my boss brewed one, very hazy. I didn't buy that, but I drank it. That every now and again, it gets the balance right for my palate, and I see why everybody else likes it. It just doesn't work for me. Also, I'm trying to be a beer reviewer, so I can't sit here and say, "Oh, it's got Citra in it, it must be shit." I'm balanced like that. I like that balance. Like, I can see this is a good beer, well-made beer from a good, popular brewery. It just don't sit on my palate, but I still keep testing myself. I do get bored of saying I don't like grapefruit, probably as much as you get bored of me hearing me say it. But I do like that test, And like I say, maybe on a coldish, or at least mild evening in March, it'd be different than in, say, the summer. These beers in the summer on, probably not cast, but on draft, would be all right. Would be fine, But yeah, I'll keep trying just to push myself, just to test myself. But I will always point out that I don't like grapefruit, and I will always finish on something darker that hasn't got a lot of hops in it. It's just where I'm at, And I would have a long afternoon of beers with yourself, Adam, and Craig and Harry and Rob, and I will tell them that as well. I just don't like hoppy stuff, but sometimes I do. I'm always very much yin and yang with that in anything in life, really. But right, without me yapping on, because I've been going on for an hour, thanks to you guys supporting me and popping in. Let's move swiftly on to something approaching safer ground, I hope, anyway, with beer number 3, please. And beer number 3, as I alluded to before, is a brewery I've had nothing at all before, because I see them as a slightly hop-heavy brewery. They talk about hops a lot, and I know they've done a few stouts. It is, of course, Baron Brewing. Been featured quite a lot. Likes of the Craft Beer Channel and various other beer reviewers. Paul at Paul's Beer Reviews goes on about Baron quite a lot because they're fairly local to him. They're in Hertfordshire. They're fairly local to me, but they are up the far end of Hertfordshire. I forgot. I didn't realise they do 500ml cans, but also that's a possibility why I don't really go for them, because, lots of hop-heavy stuff don't need 440ml of hop-heavy stuff. Definitely don't need 500ml of hop-heavy stuff, but this is a porter. I don't know if it's not their first porter. I've seen a couple of stouts from them. Let's get into a glass and find out. I think we're on safer ground here. A toffee and chocolate porter, no less. So I'm not going to be talking about hops here, Citra or otherwise. Didn't get the bowl glass out for this one. Well, looks thin initially, but then develops down the side of the glass into something quite oily. Nice. Tan coloured off-white. I think I've messed up the can balance because it's a 500ml can. I don't think I've left enough in there. Let's have a look. See if we can do the can balance. I don't think I've balanced a 500ml can before. Certainly not in the latest iteration of can balances. Oh, not a balance. I've just got to get it right. There you go. That goes, I think. Hopefully that will stay. Yeah, so let's do the furrow. Looks good. Nice head development. Very dark browny black kind of porter. Would be confused easily. Considered a stout as opposed to a porter, but we all know that's roughly the same thing anyway. Oh, David Wilson liked my story. Thanks for that, Mr. Wilson. That's like an hour ago. Yeah, I'm not sure this one is actually called Augustus Gloop. I think it's Augustus G Loop. Let me do the photograph. More about that in a minute. Fairly certain there won't be any lemonade in this one anyway. Yeah, so three. Let's put the banner up before we forget. Yeah, so Baron Brewery, Augustus and G Loop or Gloop, 4.8% toffee and chocolate porter. No, you see, I've capitalised the L because they have. So I think to get around any kind of I know, is there a trademark issue with the what's it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing, isn't it? It's the L is capitalised, so I think it's called Augustus G Loop. But who cares? Augustus Gloop, whatever. Yeah, a little bit of dissipation on the head there, but easily revived. 2-pot head. Don't know if you can see that, but on top it's much whiter, much more tan underneath, with the chocolate and toffee there going on. This is Baron's 5th porter. Well, that shows how much I've not really paid attention to Baron since first looking at their website. I know they did. This is why I say with the hype thing, they did a whole video brewing beers with Craft Beer Channel, and yeah, even with that though, I remember 3-4 years ago looking at them going, oh yeah, 4 or 5 quid. Even looking at porters from them, I'm like, yeah, I can't just buy 2 porters, 2 stouts or whatever, because I didn't really want any of the IPAs that they had. So Bear me a second. I'm going to clear the old nose and then have a proper sniff at this toffee. Oh, and I've even managed to remember to turn the sound back on. Balance quantities are quite small, so the website isn't really okay. I thought they had, I don't know, only not 1,000 litre tanks, only on 500s. I don't remember that video from Craft Beer Channel when they looked around the brewery, but they seem to have, again, churning out double dry opt after double dry opt beers. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't looked at the website for a while because I'm like, yeah, unless I see their stuff about, again, I picked this one up from Trembling Madness, which is a little bit naughty, I suppose. You know, getting beers all the way up from Hertfordshire to send it back down to London. But yeah, I just wanted an extra one on the order last week, and I thought, well, God, do you know what? You know, I'll try it. It's a porter, should be grand. Oh, and I've misspelt it. Yeah, anyway, there was a point I was going to make about that. I can't remember. Yeah, I should have lined up and had a look at the Craft Beer Channel video, maybe. Yeah, good dark malt aroma, a little bit of toffee there on the nose, maybe. Through my increases. As soon as I clear my nose, it blocks up again. Right, anyway, let's just try it. So, yeah, first ever Baron beer is a porter. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought I'd be getting a Baron anyway? Righto, yeah, so, cheers. Cheers all. Let's try it. I want to like it. I really want to like this beer. Well, I've grumped about the other two. I might as well grump about this one, mightn't I? Right. Okay. Again, not necessarily a bad beer. Just not the sort of thing I want from a porter. There's lots of burnt toast in there. Burnt brioche. Again, there's a touch of licorice as well, and there's a touch of abrasiveness. Don't know about you, right? All right, so it's a toffee and chocolate porter. Not a lot of chocolate in there, out and out. Dark bitterness of a dark bit of chocolate. There is a bit of toffee there. Toffee and caramel are swirling around there. I said it before. From a porter, I want bourbon biscuits. I want that balance between coffee, chocolate, and a bit of cream. It doesn't have to be thick and gloopy like a stout. But this feels a little thin for me. Granted, only 4.8%, so it's kind of good mid-range porter. But there's also licorice in there as well. So for me, it's a kind of fairly thin stout. It's a bit dry. Touch of coconut husk, Sabro-esque hop note in there. Maybe I'm being unfair because I'm coming off of two slightly less than appointing. What's the opposite of disappointing? Is it appointing? Don't know. Yeah. Apart from the fact that I know better, I think if I just had this as a standalone beer, I'd be like, I don't think they've hit the marks with that. I probably wouldn't look at anything else than Baron. I know that's unfair of me. That's just me being grumpy. But so I will look at Baron. I probably just won't buy their hop heavy IPAs, double IPAs necessarily. It doesn't mean I won't go back for another port or stout. Yeah, it's just not hitting marks for me. Maybe I'm just predisposed to not particularly caring about hype beers. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little long in the tooth. Maybe I'm a little bit predisposed to grumpiness. I don't think I am. I think that's I think I'm being harsh on that one. I'm not that grumpy generally, especially when it comes to beer. I just like trying beers. But this is a beer that's going to take me a while to get through. Even on a porter, I want a bit more thickness. I want a bit more creaminess. I often describe beers like have a slight kind of smoky edge, like a cigar smoke, like an old leather sofa. And this has got that, but not so much in a good way. It's like if you actually had to lick that old brown leather sofa in a smoky pub. Yeah, it's got a kind of... It's a nice sweetness. The sweetness is good. That toffee note is kind of there, but it's a little bit toffee penny. For my liking, it's a bit dark, bitter chocolate rather than smooth, creamy milk chocolate for my liking. Again, I'm being really harsh because I know Baron are good. But as the first Baron beer, maybe I'm being overcritical, but I just doesn't sit on my palate. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair, Adam. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I know it doesn't have to be thick and creamy, but I think it can be even at 4.8%. I don't feel grumpy. I just have been. I don't mean to be. Might be I think it might be. The reason I'm saying it's not is because I'm saying what I can taste here, and there's that slight rough edge to it, but not in a good way, like a brown sugar kind of roughness. There's a slight earthy edge. There's a slight dark bitter chocolate. That dark bitterness of coffee that I don't normally like. I've got a bit more into dark chocolate recently. I had a fantastic dark chocolate Bueno bar the other day, and that pleased me as a grumpy old man. Reduced from whatever it was to 83p. Picked up half a dozen of them. Absolutely beautiful coffee cream kind of note. I know you're right. It doesn't have to be thick and luscious. Stouts don't have to be thick and creamy and Guinness-like. And then there's better thick and creamy beers than Guinness. Porters are going to be slightly lower ABV and slightly lower in that mouthfeel, but I've had some really good porters that have the density even at 5%. That means that this is not quite hitting the marks, despite my grumpy old man status today. Self-conferred, I know. I've just brewed a red DIPA, a red double IPA. That makes no sense, and yet every sense in the world that you should try it. Why not? Because you don't see that very often. But also, yeah. So I'm not a massive fan of red ales, but I want to try them when you get that hoppier note in a red ale. Oh, I'm out of water. I'm getting a touch of indigestion now. Hey, Shark, how you doing, sir? Rob and I are going to brew a porter in May. We're going back and forth on what ingredients to use. A fuck ton of oats. Yeah, that's what I recommend. A fuck ton of oats. Get a nice, sweet, smooth bourbon biscuit porter. You have bourbon biscuits in America. You know what I mean by bourbon biscuits, right? Nice balance between coffee, chocolate, creaminess. But as Mersey says, porters don't have to be or don't necessarily going to be thick and creamy, but you can do, even at 4.85%. I smoke cheddar. I'm sure that's entirely possible, plausible, and probable. Yeah, red double IPA, 8.2% hot with Nectaron, Mosaic, and Galaxy. You had me until you got to Galaxy, probably. No oats will be harmed in the porter. Very disappointing, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. I misread that first. I thought it said hammed. I thought, oh, you are doing a smoky porter. But there you go. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it does have to be oaty. But yeah, bourbon biscuits for me. I've still got one. And I banned the car from Lords. Whatever you think about Lords, may they rest in peace. But that banned the car was pretty much up there as a porter for bourbon biscuits. Siren porters, bourbon biscuits all over them. Bear with me a second. I've done it again. I've banned the car. I might still have a bottle of it at the back of the stash somewhere. God, that's 3 years old now. I doubt it'd be as good now. But yeah, I'm not saying that's the epitome of porters, but it was a good one. Siren porters. Got that bourbon biscuit thing going on. That's what hits porters for me, as compared to stouts, where you've got that slightly roastier note, that slightly darker bit of chocolate, bit of coffee thing going on by varying degrees, depending on which one it is. I tell you what, I always used to say that you can tell how a show is going by the length of it. If I keep it to around an hour, I haven't really enjoyed the beers and I've struggled through it. Or is it I've kept it to an hour because I've smashed through the beers and I've really enjoyed them? I don't know, but we've done an hour and a half tonight. And I can't say I've enjoyed any of the beers that much. My palate is calming a bit now, maybe. There's a bit more of a smooth coffee note going on. I don't drink posh coffee, so yeah, no, that's a good one. Haven't had that for 6 years, so and only in bottle. So I don't have so much of a comparison on that one. But as the oh no, hang on, that's a lie. I'm sure I had a whole session on London Porter up the castle about 3 years ago. Pub only drinking because he's got a beer garden in the summer for the last 4 years. But there you go. Yeah, no, yeah, London Porter, very solidly drinkable pint. I wouldn't say the best, but certainly not my favourite. But definitely up there. I wouldn't say bad. The car was the best, but it was certainly very drinkable. Was it? Yeah, I do at some point. I'm meant to. I need to start getting out and about and doing some pub reviews, and I will start up on the hill because after doing well, drinking that pint of HSB at Christmas Day, I'll go and do the the White Horse, and I'll get a bit further up the hill. Once the beer garden opens again, I'll go and do a review of the castle. I might get maybe a bottle of London Porter in, maybe. I don't, not against bottles or cans, depending on the pub where you are and stuff like that. I've got so many places to get around to. A little bit of lace on the glass. It's proper fresh. It's the freshest one of the beers tonight. Let's see what they got to say, by the way. You see on the side of the can, it says Augustus Gloop with a lowercase L, so maybe it is just Augustus Gloop getting a lot more chocolate going on there now. There's a lot more dairy milk coming up there now. It says, find peace and tranquility in a river of chocolate, like our good friend Augustus Gloop. So definitely a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference. This porter is 4.8%, a decadent flavour mix of toffee and chocolate. Always wary when breweries use the term decadent. Not really getting decadent chocolate because of that thinness. Grains, but well, kudos after what I've said about those two. Fair play to Baron. They are putting the malt information, the brew sheet information on this. So fair play. Right, grains. Vienna malt, dark Munich malt, oats, caramel, Crystal 100 and Crystal 240. And of course, chocolate malt. Whoa. Would never have guessed this next line. Hops. SARS. SARS. A SARS hopped porter. I often say, when people say, what's your favourite hop? And I say SARS because it confuses people because they forget about Pilsners and stuff like that. But SARS hopped porter. Is that kind of slightly savoury licorice edge, maybe? That's an interesting one. Yeast WHC high voltage. Well, I tell you what, let's talk about nerdy hop information. They even put the water profile on there. I'm not going to read it out because it's a load of numbers and letters that I don't even understand. But yes, they even put the water profile on there. 13 magnesium, I think. There's Mg magnesium. SO4 to alkaline of 292, and I don't know what all the other numbers mean, to be honest, but fair play to them for that. That's too geeky even for me. I just want to know what hops they've got. Fair play, Baron. Absolutely spot on. And then they go on to say the nerdy bits. No, putting water profile on is the nerdy bit. But the nerdy bits, they say, are cacao in the whirlpool and mash, toffee, chocolate, and vanilla in the chilled beer off the firm, so conditioned on chocolate and vanilla. Ingredients: malted barley, oats, cacao nibs, chocolate, vanilla, toffee, hops and yeast. Fair play. Best before end of September 2026. Like I say, I just picked this up from Trembling Madness last week. So fair play to Baron. Oh, doff an imaginary cap that you put all that information on the can. Look at all that grey space where Track could have put their information, and look at the amount of space that Beak put information on there and could have put the hop notes. All I'm saying is just put it on there. It appeases grumpy old men like me. So fair play, Baron. I haven't so much enjoyed this porter, but I kind of enjoyed the information. So fair play. Peter Brew News, thanks for popping in. How you doing, Paul? Hope you're having a great week. Welcome once again. White Gloves, welcome. Thanks for popping in. Hope you enjoy the beers and having a great week. Send it to the geeks, Rob and Kevin. Yeah, can you brew a beer with this water profile, Kevin? Whatever that means. There's definitely magnesium in there. I'm sure MG has magnesium. That'd be an interesting one. I don't think like if you put that as a brewer, if you put that on the side, does that mean is that going to facilitate people going and brewing clones of your beer? And if they do, why does it matter? I met a couple back in the last year at the brewery that had brewed a clone of Very Pale, their flagship beer. They said they hadn't quite nailed it, but they was very impressed. But they were at the brewery drinking very pale to see. But so it still means people come into the brewery. So putting that kind of information on, I think, is a good thing because it gets people interested, you know. Or you've already bought the beer, and then it gives people an interesting into it. I'm gonna have to look for that brown port. I got it from House of Trembling Madness last week. Far as I know, it's still on there. Let's have a look for you. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, so still in stock at Trembling Madness. A very reasonable £4.65, I think, for £4.84 for a 500ml can as well. That said, I'm going to struggle through 500ml. What's the difference in 60ml, to be honest? But yeah, so still available at Trembling Madness at the moment, and no doubt directly from I didn't actually. Oh no, I did. Let's line up, have a little look at Baron, because we'll test what Mersey was saying about their lineup. There you go. Yeah, so oh, they have got a tap room as well at their place. Oh God, yes. Also, not only have they got a tap room, and I got a message about this the other day. Baron have also got a pub in Cambridge. I know this because Rasco was drinking there the other day. I'm sure he was drinking a Baron beer as well. Not an amazing tap room, but as such, it's like a high street thing. But yeah, so they've got a place in Cambridge, which is odd because they're in Hertfordshire, but they are very much up the north end of Hertfordshire. Where are they? So the Handsome Prince in Cambridge. Rasco's quite. They actually sent me a message saying, "Disco, what do you recommend in Cambridge? You know, got any tips?" And yeah, I sent him a couple of pubs, and he said he was in this place. And I looked up and that's a Baron place, man. I've just ordered a Baron beer. He was in there last week. So it's another place on a farm. Where are they? Again, that's weird. Saturday, Sunday. Oh no, that's Christmas notes. Anyway, yeah. So up in Hertfordshire, let's have a look at their drinks. Let's have a look at their beers. If you can get direct. Let's make that a bit bigger so I can see it, let alone you guys. No cat, Chris. So, okay, that's not bad. £4 for a 500ml of 5% Helles. Maybe I've underrated them a little bit. Running with Scissors, I've heard about their beer. Hoofer, an 8% DIPA. Again, obviously £8. That's what I paid for the track, so it's not too bad. Yeah, a lot of hats. So a corduroy hat, that would really make headlines. So yeah, yeah, so fairly heavy on the pale ales and IPA. So this one is not available; it's obviously already sold out on the website. The pour, like I say, it's what I picked up from Trembling Madness. Yeah, got a West Coast IPA. Yeah, so this is my kind of thing with it. You know, a couple of lagers actually, but other than that, some pale ales and double A. Let's have a look. Oh, so I've clicked the wrong one there. King Street Mural is a Motueka infused pale ale. Thick and oaty beer, my kind of thing. Single hopped with Motueka. Lemons and limes everywhere. Only 4.2% as well. I could try that at some point if I see it. Maybe. Let's have a look at the DIPA. First 2026 edition of the really silly dippers. That's not that silly. It's only 8%. This is one of those beers that costs so much to make it's purely for fun and not a beer made with my financial head screwed on. Really? Even 8%? Completely saturated in the most intense hops the world grows. USA AA method of overstepping what's drinkable. This time with Nectaron, Mosaic, Citra, and Galaxy. That's not that bad apart from the cost, I suppose, to bring up an 8% DIPA. But fair play. I think he likes kind of hop heavy beers more so than me. So he's got New Zealand, Australia, and USA there. Waraka, Eclipse, and Mosaic. Again, overripe mangoes and peaches, but I bet there's a bit of grapefruit in there. Try that. I think probably. But yeah, Brewery's only 33-minute drive from me. I have to pay them a visit. Okay, so you're over Hertfordshire. I know we've discussed this before, haven't we? Add some, but I'm not adding Bucky to this. Yeah, it would work. Yeah, it would work. That's what's missing in this, a bit of Bucky. Buntingford. Do you know what? Despite the fact I pride myself in knowing a lot of random places, I've heard of Buntingford but couldn't put it on a map. But now you say it's in that kind of North Hertfordshire, Cambridge area. 20 minutes drive from Cambridge. Yeah. So Hertfordshire, I know geography, but Hertfordshire, I always forget, goes up into that kind of east side of the middle of the country, goes into Cambridge. So yeah, not far, depending on how the M11 sits, I guess. But fair play. Yeah, look at this one. I think you'd love it. I think I'm being a bit harsh and hypercritical of it, I think. But yeah, no, there's that slightly rough edge. I can't breathe again. Bear with me. Yeah, slightly rough edge and slight licorice feel, which I don't really like licorice either. It's yeah. M11 is the most like well-known one, really. Yeah, like I say, Rasco was in Cambridge the other week and he said about it, so he went there and tried a couple. I sent him to the Milton Brewery pub, Devonshire, down by the station, because it's the only one I know. Every time I used to go to Cambridge for football, we never got much further than the pub by the station. Never went out into town. That was definitely, well, it wasn't pre-craft because I used to pick up bottles of the Colonel at the M&S on the station 7 years ago. But there you go. Yeah, so in summary then, because we're cracking on for 2 hours, I've been wanging on. You guys have been making me wang on about craft beer hype train. Who'd have thought a hype train beer would be the longest live stream of the year so far? And I normally try and keep it down to an hour and a half, because I don't even like me wanging on about beer. You guys are brilliant. Thank you for that. But yeah, this porter's gonna be as testing as those two pale ales were, double IPA especially. I'm not adding lemonade to it. That's a completely different thing. But yeah, it's sort of a bit of cocoa powder going on. There is a bit of toffee caramel, but it's a bit too thin for me. Doesn't have to be thick and oily and, like I say, creamy, especially as Adam points out, it's 4.8%. But for me, I don't want it to be licorice, rough edge cocoa powder. There's a little bit of brown sugar in there now as well. But it's sort of a bit, yeah, not the best porter for me. But that's because of my palate, because I don't like that licorice. I don't like that dark edged chocolate, bitter chocolate. I'm surprised about the SARS hops. And again, I fully appreciate Baron for putting all that information on there. What did I say about the date? Oh yeah, September 2026. So it's perfectly fresh and fine. That never bothers me, especially about porters. But yeah, really interesting lineup tonight. I don't get on the hype train very often. Like I say, this is pretty much effectively the first beers I've had from all three of these breweries. I've never done track, apart from that one collab, that Mountain Culture one. Mainstream beers. I've had a Beak beer before, and only ever can. Certainly never anything on tap yet. I'd love to go to Lewis and spend a weekend in Lewis checking out all those breweries down there. Biss, Beak, even Harvey's I'm not a big fan of, but there you go. I would go there again. Have been. Yeah, so that's my Tuesday tipple. It's going to take me a long. I'm not going to finish this one on stream because I'll be weighing on about it for another 45 minutes probably. I haven't got that much conversation in me. So yeah, it's been an interesting Tuesday tipple. It's not been the best. It's going to be a very, very difficult write up when I put these on Instagram at some point. I haven't even done yesterday's yesterday for much the same reason. But you guys have been fabulous. Thanks as always for popping in. If you're watching this after the live stream event, do click the buttons down below for the like and subscribe. And you can hear me waffling on next week about beer. I don't know if I'll get anything more out this week, but check out all the videos. I'll put links up there for all the previous videos. Please go and watch the gazpacho video because no, not many people seem to notice that. I would say nobody. 30 odd people did, but yeah, gazpacho goes from Hackney Church. I thought that would be a bit more popular because it's a mental beer. These aren't mental beers; they're just mental for me because it's not as enjoyable as I wanted. But yeah, no, thanks everybody for popping in. Too numerous to mention in the comments over. Where are you? You're over there somewhere. Yeah, click like, subscribe, and all that, and we'll see you again soon for some more beers. Hopefully, better beers. I've got a load sitting in the cupboard that I've got to do. Don't know what else I'm going to do. Might do something Friday afternoon, maybe some early beers. I think I'm off on Friday. So maybe do some early weekend beers. Do you remember them 5 o'clock on Fridays we used to do? But there you go. Yeah, so not enjoying that Barrel one, really. Not saying it's a bad beer. I've just not really enjoyed that. Licorice, coffee, cocoa powder, dark bit of chocolate, burnt toast, very burnt brioche, raisin toast almost. I will finish it. I will drink it. It's just, yeah, it's not hitting marks. Maybe just because I'm a grumpy old man, like you all say, and apologise if I am. Apologise to all three of these breweries for not really jumping on the hype train. I will still not get on the hype train. I've got some beers arriving tomorrow from a very unhyped brewery down in Cornwall, just because I liked what they do. So I'm going to probably try and focus on those small breweries because I enjoy that. Finding a new brewery, finding a tiny brewery that nobody else is talking about, and just upping them, promoting them. Track don't need my promotion. Beak don't need my promotion. Baron probably don't really need my promotion. All three of them are selling enough beers. You can always sell more. And there's so many breweries in this country, and every single week I find a new brewery, and I think I want to try their beers. But I can't buy all of them. So I just buy the beers that interest me. I bought these beers purely on name and a slight amount of let's have a look at some hypeness. Like I say, the first two I was going to do standalone videos for. I just bought them on the names because I had a bit of a connection. Augustus Gloop, kind of not so much of a connection for me, really. Remember reading Charlie and Chocolate Factory back in the day, but yeah. Anyway, I'll just carry on. I'll post up the brewery. I think it's arriving tomorrow from down in Cornwall, and we'll try them again soon. I might even try them next week. I think I need to do that rather than just having that massive stash there. If I get beers in, I need to try them that week or the following week or that month at least. So they don't sit there too long. So I might try and do that next week. And I've got loads of other ideas for standalone videos and live streams. But thank you very much indeed. I'm in Disco of Just Disco Beer Review. You've been absolute legends for following along and drinking along. Do let me know also if there's anything you want me to try. Maybe try and do some live streams. If there's any other creators want to do like a joint live stream, want to come on, we'll get the same beers. I'll host, you host, whatever. Do a home and away thing. If you want to do a joint thing, hit me up in the comments, in the DMs, in the Instagram. We'll get something online. We'll do something. I just want to chat about beer, to be honest, and drink beer. Anyway, you've been brilliant. I'm in Disco. Thank you very much indeed. Haven't done a new video outro, but if I find the right outro, we should be okay. Let me just check. Oh, no, here it is. Right, here's the outro. Right, cheers. Thank you very much indeed, all. Cheers, and enjoy the beers.